This will be like my third year here, been second year, but the only year I've been here where I've got the same offensive staff. Coach Cannon does an outstanding job of, getting good coaches with us, and me and Mac and Josh kind of talked early last year, what's the point of emphasis? And it's finishing drives. Right? We've been able to go, from the two to the other two as fast as anybody, but there's been games where Coach Cannon will go for it and 1 yard or less, right? You always hear football, a game of inches, and we struggle to get that. Now, we can get 50 in a heartbeat, but it's when, it's like the other team knew we was running it, we was wanting to run it. That was the point of emphasis to get better at. Well, so far this camp, we recruited some bigger offensive linemen that's got a little more meanness to them. We got bigger at running back / H-back. Cameron Orr, Jacob Cunningham, two of our linemen that are coming back, have done a good job of kind of grabbing these freshmen. When we walk out there next Thursday, 3 of them, it'll be their basically first game. If any other ones have to come in up front, all those guys are freshmen. And up front, and Coach Mack has done an outstanding job of trying to get 5 to play as 1. Because you can have 4 receivers and 3 of them run the wrong route, and if the quarterback sees the right route, it looks good on offense. You can have 5 offensive linemen going, and 4 and grade out 80%. 4 or 5 are outstanding. Everybody says, "Come on, O-line, you can't block." And the thing we've tried to stress there is we're going to get that extra yard to help put those games away. I go back to East Mississippi in 2017. It was inside the 1 yard line 3 times, and they stopped us, and blocked the field goal. And that was the #1 team in the country. We were so close to getting there. And I'm anxious to see Thursday, do we respond? We got 2 packages, and you'll probably hear me hollering it from the stand. You hear me holler, tank? I'm trying to make them think something explosive about to happen, or truck. All right, we've worked really hard on that of short yardage. A lot of big guys in there. And like I said, Jacob and Cameron have done an outstanding job there. A lot of people want to talk about the quarterback. Right? My first year here had Dan Ellington. Right? Probably the most accomplished individual I've ever been around. Like, I always felt like I watched a lot of film, and I'd check huddle, and Dan Ellington, who's within 21 hours, was right there with me watching film. Like that, and that's why I was really good on offense, because great players make great coaches. Last year, standing right here, one of the first questions was, who's going to play quarterback? And I'm like, I really don't know yet. I was being honest because we still had a week left to get there. Well, Clark Mills is back. All right, a little about him. I remember it was actually the day after we had this meeting last year, when we had had this luncheon. I said, son, the way it stands right now, you're going to be third. And he kind of looked at me funny. I said, now it's up to you if you become second or become first. You can stay third, but if you want to do something about it, you can become second, you become first, you'll be playing. Well, sure enough, by the second game, brought him into halftime, ended up leading the state in passing. Right? So, but I told him this year, I said, we've had the quarterback at ICC in 17 and 18 lead the state in passing. I said, it's not any pressure, but I want to be able to use you kind of an extension of a coach. You're going to know protections now. You understand defensively, and hopefully he can kind of add that extra element, because in a game, if there's 90 plays, I try to about 74. If I can get to about 74, then I put us in a good situation, and he cuts half those other plays, we got a chance to win, because nobody's perfect, and I've been really pleased with him. Dylan Falk, freshman from Hernando, is a guy that's I've just tried to cram everything. I'm coaching him the same as I coached Clark. Clark was here summer, fall, spring, summer, fall. This kid's only been here summer and fall. So I've kind of overloaded him up to this point, see what he can handle in case something happens, he's got to go in and so on. So he's done a good job there. Running backs, Hiram Wallington's back. Just the kids that I love to coach. The only time you hear his name, there's something great beside him. He's going to go to class. He's going to do everything you ask him to do. He'll have above a 3-point GPA. He just does things the right way. And he has kind of started like bleeding off to some other guys in my room. He's making them better. Like they see a lot of them, you get them as freshmen, I want to run the ball. Well, I mean, yeah, you got to be able to run the ball if you're running back. But also, my first thing is no block, no rock. That's what I tell all of them. You're going to block. You know, and if you get my quarterback hit by not blocking, you just, kind of like Coach Cannon said, you need to go to the locker room because you're done. You know, because I want to see if you're a block. And Hiram kind of already had that mentality when he got here. So it's just kind of spread through the room, you know, where they're all kind of playing together and rooting for each other. Brought in Tyler Day from North Little Rock, big kid now. I think his physical said 6'4" and a quarter, and it's 238. Kind of playing him as an ace and a bigger running back. To go back to what I started, we're going to solve these short yardage problems. Right? You know, a guy that I expect a lot of big things out, won't know how he'll, you know, play till we get out there. Receiver-wise, lost a lot of guys. Been lucky enough to have the #1 receiver in the nation the last 2 years. Terry Williams and Jamel Thomas, 2 guys that it's crazy how it always works. If they do the right thing on the field, off the field, and do what you ask you to do, that's the ones that have success. The ones you don't have to worry about chasing them or trying to get them to practice hard, or trying to make them block, or trying to, you know, get them to do all the little things. And we've kind of, I won't say a hole there. We've got some good candidates, but somebody's going to catch that first pass next Thursday. Who is it? I don't know. You know, and hopefully, maybe we can spread it out, you know, among different people, because it makes you know, better as offense when it's just not one guy they can look at. So, and I tell Clark, we'll sit in here to kind of give you a little story. He'll come in, both quarterbacks, and we'll do puck, which is pass under pressure. Right? That means it's 3rd and 8, and we try to tell the kids, don't get 8, get 10. And they'll come in like, what blitzes you think we see today? I said, look, and Dick LeBeau was 50-something years in the NFL. All right, he is a player and a coach. I mean, that's 5 generations he was coaching. That's Dick LeBeau Jr. right here, Coach Cannon. And the many different blitzes they have, and I said, look, I know it's frustrating because it looks the same, but it's totally different every time. If you'll mentally lock in here, when we get in the game, it will be a breeze. All right, because he's going to give you, if we run 8 plays of puck, you're getting 8 different looks. And it looks like blitz, and it's not. It looks like man in his zone. And it frustrates them, you know, at the beginning, and even offensive linemen. Like the other day, to add on to that, Clark checks to protection. Well, as soon as he checks, Coach Cannon checks. Well, then Clark's checking again, and then they check again, and then Coach Cannon's like 3, 2, 1. I'm talking about the play clock, you know. And I said, look, we can't check it 3 and 4 times. Let's just get one and go. So, but excited, glad to be here. Like Coach Cannon said, it's good people here. I've kind of been all over the state. It's the only college I've ever been to, but you know, it's great work for great people here. They help you in any which way you can, and I'm just excited to get this thing going next Thursday. So I hope I kind of told you a few things about offense, point of emphasis, you know. And hopefully I'm calling tank or truck a lot. That means we're close to the goal line, you know, trying to score more points. But thank y'all for y'all's time.